Good evening to one and all present over here. We are back, our Nurse Talk Show with our season 2. This is our 33rd episode and third episode of our season 2. So today we are here with surprise packages, new segments. So I hope you are enjoying with us. And today we have special talks also. So there is some changes in our schedule. So we are taking to our first schedule that is about student section. We are divided this nurse talk show into three segments. One is for students, and one is for nurse practitioner or nurse faculties, and one is for our public health. So here we have very two charming young personalities, our student nurses we have with us. Miss Elkaris Ans Joseph. She's a fourth year BSc nursing student from Maharashtra. And she's a very talented girl. When we got her name for this show, we were really excited to meet her, and she was the right person also. She opted nursing as because she felt this has a great scope and it is a very good base. And she always says that nursing is people oriented and her taste lies also there. She herself wants to be a nurse researcher in coming 10 years, and she wants to do her honors in clinical psychology also. So this is about Elkaris and Joseph. Welcome, Elkaris. Our
Thank
next student, we have charming Prajakta Jayant Mokhal, born and raised in Thane. She's a second year GNM student, and she was very active student at her school and was very active participant in school council, Rotary Club, etc. This made herself to connect with people, so she chose nursing as a career. Her goal is to acquire best knowledge in nursing and apply it by giving excellent patient care. To provide best patient care with all the practical and theoretical knowledge, not just being a schedule-oriented nurse. That is her vision in coming era. So I'm taking you all together to our debate. This is a new segment which we have added this time. And you know, there is no right or wrong answer in debate. There is just a for and against the motion. So we have two debaters also today. But our topic is also a little interesting and it may make you in a dilemma also. We all know technological advancements have drastically changed the structure and organization of healthcare industry. There is already a robotic evolution happening in healthcare, wherein robots have made tasks and procedures more efficient and safer. And it has addressed to threat to nursing practice even with human nurses being replaced by humanoid robots. What you say? So let's hear our charming students, Elkaris and Prajakta. Can robots replace nurses? This is our topic for today's debate. And please take this as a student section, and this would be really fun for everybody. And this will be really an mind, like we can say at the end also, you will be not disappointed also. So I call upon Elkaris Ans to talk about like robots can replace nurses. That is for the motion. Over to Elkaris.
Thank you, sir. So I am speaking for it. I'll start by saying, with technological breakthroughs occurring at a very increasing rate, and more tasks of nurses have been delegated to machines and artificial intelligence. There is already a robotic revolution that's happening in healthcare, wherein robots have made easy the tasks and procedures and made it very safer and efficient. What is overpowering in every aspect of modern society is technology itself. Today, nursing today is not same as it was 30 years before. So there is still room for change, and it will keep on changing as years pass by. There will be robotic assisted surgeries one day performed, wherein it will completely replace surgeons and nurses in the operating room. Humanoid nurse robo have all the possibilities to replace human nurses in hospital ward. Companion robots are designed to provide useful and socially acceptable assistance to people who need special attention, like elderly or children with disabilities like autism and other. Then we have automated dispensing robots, which would take away the responsibility of nurse in medication administration. Since human talent is considered to be more expensive than RoboCare, this might be a perfect fix to ensure aging patients to have in-home care that they need at a cost that everyone can afford. It can help us save costs, reduce wastage of time, and improve patient care. The major attraction that happened recently in Bangalore was Tech Summit 2020, where they introduced a robotic nurse named Asha. The robo has a human-like face. It has a capability to show real emotion. It smiles, it moves its lips while talking, it blinks, it talks, and now it's under the training to learn Hindi and Kannada, and it's been trained in other languages as well. How astonishing is that? It's also been trained remotely, controlled by human beings. Robotics is all about process excellence and technical skills, thus, as we all know. A hospital in Chennai has brought in robots to serve food and medicines to coronavirus patients. It's an excellent example from the technology side of how technology can be put into use in dire circumstances. The move was aimed to reduce the risk of infection for nurses. A Kerala setup also had developed three-wheeled robo, which says that it is used to assist patients in isolation ward. To meet the nurse-patient ratio, we need almost 2 million nurses, according to WHO. And annually, India produces about 60,000 of nurses, from which many migrate to different areas and switch to different courses. So the intervention of artificial intelligence is not a novelty, but has proved to be a vital part of the sector. By using nurse robo, we can elevate the nurse-patient ratio, and this will result in decreasing the mortality rate, reducing the burnout experienced by the nurses. Robo can efficiently address cognitive decline issue by reminding care receiver that it's a time for medication, it's the right time for doing exercise, it's time to attend appointment, and so forth. Such tasks can be performed by nurse care robots with high level of accuracy and consistency, even during holidays, night shifts, and everything. Thanks to the fact that robots can endlessly do work and does not suffer fatigue or die of boredom like us. We nurses might skip certain things, some things might just get away from our head, but robots, they'd be very accurate in everything. Robo can be extremely useful in continuous monitoring of patients and collecting data for emergency cases. A robotic nurse will have the ability to triage patient in clinic, emergency department. It will streamline care and provide standardized approach in emergency departments. In such triage condition, we know nurse care and presence in terms of quick decision making, prioritizing certain things, and doing quick decisions is very important. So sometimes we get so worried and so exhausted, but robotic nurse, she would not be exhausted, and there would not be any compromise in the care given due to other things. Accuracy of treatment and uncompromised care can be thus provided by robo nurses. So robotic nurse can truly take over and find a place in healthcare for sure. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Alcaris. So let us hear the opposite side from Prajakta, that is against the motion. Robots cannot replace nurse. Over to you, Prajakta.
Yes, good evening, sir. May I start?
Yes.
The next time you're pondering over, will robots replace nurses? Remember that behind every healed patient is a critical thinking nurse. Hello everyone and good evening. This is Prajakta and today I stand over here to present my views against the topic, can robots replace nurses? It is an indisputable fact that the technological development in artificial intelligence will alter how nursing will be practiced in the future. Nursing is the expression of caring. The American Nurses Association defines nursing as a helping profession and as such provides services which contribute to the health and well-being of people. In 1992, Peck stated that the concept of nursing rests on the irreplaceable human touch, specifically tender loving care, by showing them love, care, and using open communication to gain patients' trust and to provide a mean for outlet of emotions. Nurses emphasize on person-centered care, which means to concentrate on each individual's needs, desires, wants, and goals. Nurses embody the image of caring and comfort and relief. They become a pillar of support to fight off loneliness in a client. 24 hours nursing care is one of the distinctive hallmarks of inpatient care in hospitals. Nurses have the ability of instantaneous thinking, analysis, problem solving, interpretation, reasoning, and evaluation. They can reflect on their actions and mistakes. Nurses are full of compassion and empathy and have the ability to connect with their patients. Nurses are Nurses provide receiving care and which is a very emotional experience which cannot be provided by a humanoid nurse robot because they cannot understand those emotions. A licensed article of Harvard publication declares that human nurses can provide better care due to the patient because they can understand the nuances of humanness and their behavior. For example, what action should be taken against a patient who refuses to take his medicine, or what with patients having irrational thinking or suicidal tendency? Only a nurse can understand the complex behavior of humans. To our today and every day, our daily schedule changes, our mood changes. So, pre-programmed robots cannot understand these changes and they cause errors. Robots cannot learn or think independently. They are basically human dependent. If robots are carelessly installed, this may lead to a very catastrophic situation. Then, who may be held responsible for that situation? Nurses are a mediator, motivator, and a bridge between all stakeholders. They are an advocate who knows all the rights of patients and helps them to acquire those rights. Internal conflict, sarcastic behavior, and social stigma of a patient cannot be identified by an HNR. Thus, robots can assist nurses with auxiliary tasks like lifting patient, performing cleanup, and helping for transfers, but they cannot replace nurses as as ultimately robots are man-made machines and can only act on the information provided in them. Thank you.
Yes, so that was the introduction remarks from both of the debaters. So let us hear the rebuttal part of debate. So I ask Elkaris to rebut this debate. Your argument, please.
So I heard Project again and again about emotions, compassion, and empathy. So it is said that robots cannot show emotions. Okay, let me tell you, when we see someone, how can we understand what emotion that person is going through? We understand a person's emotion by the expression, by the way the person is talking, or by some gestures and all that. So when a robot is coming into play, now our human brain is very intelligent. Now they are coming up with humanoid robots that has same face like a human being, and it shows gestures and emotion just like a human being. It has voice variations that can completely sound as comforting, as very hospitable and everything. So emotions, sometimes, yes, we have clear emotions, but the robots that's installed also can express emotions. You know, when a person is in ICU, very distressed, very depressed, patient wants to connect with the outside world. So robo has everything installed in that. That robot can show, then can actually make good interaction. So whenever that person is feeling low, it can talk, and all these is possible by a robot. Emotions can be shown. And you said carelessly installed. So the ones who are creating robots won't be morons. They'll carelessly install. They'll do each and everything very specific. We are having direct interaction with patient. So everything that everything that's related to the patient, that the person who's behind the robot would make it sure that nothing wrong would happen. So that, and 24 hours care that the nurses provide. Yes, 24 hours care nurses are providing, and that's very brilliant. But we are human beings, we get tired so easily, and that can affect the care that we are providing. Accuracy of care is very important. So emotions, again, emotions sometimes make us so vulnerable that we won't be able to act back. You know, quick action wouldn't come because of our emotional vulnerability. But robots won't have that, and that's why robots will be very very accurate, and the care would be given to them at the right time and the right amount.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Alkaris. Yes, Prajakta, over to you for your argument over Alkaris. You can unmute, Prajakta.
Yes, sir. So Alkaris, so may I start?
Yes.
Alkaris, I would like to add that emotions play a very important part, because after observing the patient or by looking at their condition, we get to know about their psychological condition, their expressions, their behavior, and then we identify what the patient suffers with or how the patient is going through a situation. Like you said, emotions are there which can be shown by a robot, by robots like Asha. So by their facial expressions, but that will still be mechanical, and they cannot understand the nuances of humanness and the emotional context of the situation, because they can show the emotion but they cannot express themselves properly, because they cannot truly understand what are they trying to express. So that was about emotional, and I would like to add that other than emotions, robots lack uh, human touch, and that human touch is based on emotional experience, because human touch gives support to a patient, and that support is also emotional support, because patient is mentally disturbed, he is in stress and frustration because what he goes through uh, he is not able to express himself properly, so he can inform the nurse informally, because nurses and patients have an interpersonal relationship which they develop together, so they can express themselves more informally to a nurse rather than a robot, because they may get because they have the information privacy, or sometimes they feel that at last that robot is a machine, he cannot express himself. So next point, I would like to say that robots are also the point about robots cannot be the robots can be problematic if they are not arranged properly or not programmed properly. So that is a point, because if robots are not arranged properly, that may cause a fatal problem. Also, the robotic errors may increase, and it may be it may give delayed care. Also, in case of emergency, you said that robots may be instantaneous thinking, and they may prepare the patient and try to gain what is the first need of the patient. But nurses may be fatigued, or in any situation, nurses are in constant alert. Their uniqueness is about their alertness, their leadershipness, their all the qualities they have, because they have to take instantaneous decisions, they have to take critical they have to do critical thinking, they have to analyze the situations, they have to give reasoning, and proper evaluation and actions interpretation should be done on the patient. So that is also, I would
Okay.
like to add that
Yes, yes.
patient.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Prajakta.
sir.
You are now coming to our concluding remarks. So may I ask Elkaris to conclude your statement?
Yes, sir. So I would end by. Sir, is it the rebooting one or?
No, no, you can concluding remark. Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to say people develop disability related to wear and tear as their age is growing and due to the onset of chronic diseases, which requires 24/7 continuous care, monitoring, attention, love, affection, all that during the whole time a nurse cannot be able to provide. So in India, we are not having any shortage of human issues, your human related health issues. Millions of people do not have access to basic health care and medical care. So aging population in India is not considered as an issue most of the time, as young people find it either difficult to get time to take care of their elderly or are disinterested. So this increasing number of old age home are the proof to it. Considering the above two aspect of elderly population and also the health care issues, the areas where there is no healthcare that's been reaching, I would say considering about two these, robo care comes into rescue for country like us. So since the pace of technology is fast and able to augment the care, robo is looking more and more likely to take. So patients living in rural area are in urge of need of specialized care and for treatment. So via robot controlled remotely through laptop, desktop or mobile devices, we'll be able to bring care to them. Also help in patient transfer, ambulation, lifting, and all the physical things. And because of all these physical stress taken away, a nurse will be very efficient in the work hours. So all the other duties, other boring duties we call, would be taken away by the robots, and the important care that the nurse should do will be able to perform to well. So robots are programmed with the algorithm that reduce calculation error to zero. How wonderful is that? Sometimes we take time to do some calculation, but robots, it's very immediate. It's zero. So when compared to human, robo is very quick to train, cheaper to maintain, easy to refuel and repair. So the old and repetitive tasks can be controlled, done by robots. So just imagine in a hospital situation, we nurses are the ones who tend to give nosocomial infections. So just imagine a robot is coming into the hospital with the infrared rays. It is cancelling or sanitizing everything, cancelling all the infections, and going to the next patient with no amount of bacteria. That's a very wonderful thing, right? Every time goes to technology in that aspect. So robot nurses help us to schedule tasks during our nursing shift and prioritize care. Sometimes we might skip and sometimes we won't be able to prioritize as by seeing all the data. Since the data will be fed inside the robot altogether, it would be able to chart things and make it less burden, and with time consuming will also be less. So we are in this.
Thank you, Elkaris. We are actually running short of time, okay. But yes, you concluded very well. Can we hear Prajakta for your concluding remarks in short? Yes.
So at the end, I would like to say that robots lack the most essential human touch. Also, compassion and empathy are very difficult to model in machines. Receiving care and providing care is an emotional experience which robots cannot understand, and unlike machines, human nurses can react to the unpredictable situations and aspects of humanness, including the emotional context of the behavior of patient. Even though robots have various sensors of light, sound, etc., they are not cost effective. And in India, they are really not cost effective and cannot be used in a hospital setting. Also, nursing stands as a platform for women empowerment, as 80% nurses are females. So if this is taken from them, then what will be the most prominent stand for women? The Indian population is increasing day by day, causing increasing risk of unemployment. If robotics is introduced, then this will create imbalance due to unemployment in people. Remember Valkyrie, known as NASA's superhero robot? Even Valkyrie faced errors like overloaded with sensors and networking issue at their DRC trials. So, if organization like NASA faces these problems, can we casually put our life in the hands of any robot? Did you know that according to WHO, at least half of our world's population still lack PHC healthcare, that is primary healthcare. The reason is the low budget of primary healthcare. Now, if millions of people still lack primary healthcare, I feel that while expending the money used for robotics to give the basic basic primary healthcare and improve the health status of people, it will make India a better place. Also, lastly, I would like to say that every nurse has had and will have the same goal of providing best patient care. So, if the use of clinical cards and AI has reliably increased the speed of providing healthcare, obviously any nurse would use it to lead a more expansive future. But last but not the least, the AI cannot replace nurses as it can only help in auxiliary tasks and can never replace any nurse. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prajakta as well as Elkaris. You both did a very good, wonderful job, and it was really interesting. We want to listen you more because you have a lot of research, a lot of studies in your hand. We know, but we are running short of time. Meanwhile, I just want to take a feedback, a poll from the audience, and here the question is: this is just a poll based on this talk only, based on their talk. We just want to listen. You all just want to see the poll that you please go to www.menti.com and can you please, everyone, please, this is like a new feedback poll from our side. Please go to www.menti.com and you will be asked one code that is 7209575. There your question is waiting. Who will be you will be voted? Either robot or nurses. This is just a fun part or just want to see who will be most supporting either to robot or nurses. Thank you. www.menti.com and use the code 7209575. So here we are coming to the end of this debate. This was really interesting. As we know, nurses should be involved in deciding which aspects of their practice can be delegated to technology. And nursing education and nursing research will change to encompass a differentiated demand for professional nursing practice within and not for robots in healthcare. And you know, a redefinition of role of nurses in healthcare would result in a technologically advanced world of caring. So this was really interesting from our two debaters. Once again, thank you to both of you. Now I ask Geeta to please take over.
Thank you, Krish. And today I am privileged to introduce a girl with courage and golden heart to care for a needy, who can bring smile on someone's hopeless face and can feel quality in someone's life and respect the humanity, not human being with the status or position. Be empathetic, not sympathetic, is the tagline of 24 years old Manisha from Tamil Nadu. Welcome, Manisha. You, the Nurse Talk Show, privileged to have you on the show.
Manisha, are you there?
Yes, she is there.
Yeah. I hope she is able to unmute herself. Yeah. Yes, she can.
She can.
Manisha, you are unmuted. Hello? Yeah, Manisha?
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Over
Can
to
you
you,
able to hear
Manisha.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Manisha.
Yes, ma'am.
Manisha, you may start. Please start, Manisha.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening to all, ma'am. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you for all your wishes to welcome myself. And I'm Manisha here from Erode, Tamil Nadu. I'm working as a lecturer in Nanda College of Nursing, Erode. And I'm running the foundation.
Manisha, please unmute yourself. You're muted now. Manisha, we cannot hear you. Yeah. Clear, Manisha, please.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, you are audible, Manisha.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, ma'am. So when considering about my history, I'm also from the middle class family where my father is a butcher, and he's running a butcher shop. Where from my third standard itself, I also practiced all the works in my father's shop, and um, so by learning all those things, I just come to know the things, um, uh, how the hard work is too difficult, and how the father can manage the family by crossing all the struggles, and um, um, taking up the family by crossing all the difficulties. So from my childhood itself, I'm just attracted towards the words of Gandhiji, be the change, and by instead of blaming others. So what I think is, from my part of the side, one service should be to the nation. So likewise, I have a thing, and from the beginning, I aimed to become a army woman, but where as a female child, I'm not allowed to be army woman, and also according to my family situation and economic problem, I couldn't able to join in the MBBS also. So after that, after my 12th degree, I just enter into nursing profession without knowing anything. I don't know how worth the profession it is. But after entering into the profession, from my first year itself, I attracted to the words, the nurses should be empathetic, should not be sympathetic. So from my childhood itself, I just attracted towards the people on roadside, and giving them foods, clothes, and everything, and just spend my time with them, by making a communication, and get a bonding relationship with them. So after entering into the nursing profession, I just thought that I'm doing something in a sympathetic way only, not an empathetic way. So I'm going and talking with them. At that time only, the person will be happy. But apart from those times, the person is still remain in the sunshine, and if the rain are coming, means the person still on the roadside only. So I don't know what is the solution for that. So at those timings and all, I'm just having a habit of visiting the homages, and making those people to bath, and giving them haircut. So likewise, I'm doing on the homages, and the whole day I used to spend with them. So on your fine day, I'm asking to the person on in the home in charge, and asking him, sir, I saw so many people on roadside, and if any chances you permit, means I can bring them to here. Either you may admit or not. So likewise, I asked him. So he told the rules and regulations what has to be followed to admit a person in the homage. So after that, I don't know. At that time also, as a mature child, I don't know how to take up all those procedures. So I'm just continuing the same thing till my college days itself. And after completing my college and at the end of my college session also, um, where in my family some personal problems are coming. So I'm supposed to and forced to come out from my family at that time. So I don't know at that time what decision has to be made. So after left out from my family as a single woman, um, I I don't know what is the pathway for the next thing. And at that time, as a immature one, I just attempted to suicide also. So when my mind says no, this is not life. Oh, we can't able to move after that without father and mother. I can't do anything. So likewise, I'm thinking, and on one day, I just get into my mind that um, even I'm struggling for one day meal, one time meal also. So then when I'm crossing on the road only, I just see the people on roadside who are begging for one timing food. So then only the thing come into my mind that now also I have dresses and food, everything I can able to earn for myself. I'm have the ability itself itself my in sorry in myself. So what I'm thinking is we are not in that stage at stage to commit into suicide. We can able to make ourselves to survive in the current society by crossing all those problems. So what I'm thinking is uh, we are having energy in our body, but where the people on roadside don't have anything and any support to help to gain support also. So what I'm thinking is, okay, our life is not created to sacrifice our own self only. It just it just created to make thousands and thousands of people to be happy. So at that time, I'm changed my mind. I just changed my mindset and started traveling into searching for job. 1 minute, ma'am. Jim.
Continue slides maybe.
Hello.
Yes,
Please
yes,
Hello,
you can
ma'am.
yes, you can continue.
Continue, Manisha, please.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry for the inconvenience. Um, so after that only I started my journey after getting job in Apollo Hospital, and due to the corporation problem also I'm just left out from the hospital and started joining into colleges as a lecturer. So after joining into job, I'm starting my service career by serving people on roadside. So my first recovery from the roadside is Mr. Soman. So where I found him at Tiruchi, Tamil Nadu. So he's the one who is mentally affected and looking very gigantically, and he is like a arrogant of Lord Shiva. So when I saw him, the people near to me told, don't go near to him, and he is not like others, and he is not normal. He may beat you, or he may something do something, and not like a normal person like me.
So what I did is, I just watched him. He was continuously look his vision to the hotel. So what I'm thinking is he is hungry. I just get some food and give it to him. So someone just take everything and make a smile on me, and then he just go to his own place. So on the regular days and on the next day itself, we started meeting at the same place on the road. And at morning, we just get some tea, snacks on the same roadside, and food also on the roadside. At same as the evening, we just start to do the same. So by crossing up to 15 days, we just do the same, and I just getting a strong relationship with him. So whatever the people near the road providing him like a biscuits or anything, he just wait for my arrival and just share with me. Then only he eat. He didn't take anything as a single one. So day by day, I just admire towards him by changing his attitude. So on a fine day of New Year, January 1st, I just plan to make him clean with bathing and provide him new dresses. And with all people, we just plan to make a cake cut. So on a street temple, I just make a cake, and all the people are coming very what to say, very interestingly saying he is Soman, he is Soman. Oh no, he is not Soman. Like this, the people are saying him. So at that time, we all are enjoying with the cake, but still Snowman is waiting for me. Why he is waiting? I'm just asking him, Snowman, eat the cake. Why you're waiting for? Likewise, I'm asking. So he didn't talk anything, and he just make myself to eat the cake. So at that time, I was very much happy, and I'm very feeling awesome by seeing the changes in Soman's attitude. So, and also I'm thinking that this is by making a communication is not only the greater solution for him. So as I inquired into the homages, I'm just planning to admit him in the homage by getting permission from the police station. So now also he is a very good person in the home, and who is obediently follow all the instructions what they given in the homages. So whenever I just make a visit to him, he just he's jumping like a child, and Manisha is coming, like this. He was inviting me in the home. So this is the my first recovery. What I felt nowadays also, what makes me to continue the service till now by the 3.5 years of my journey. So at first, I'm starting this as a friends team, volunteer to needy people. So now, so after some period was crossing, 2 years. After 2 years only, I'm registering this as a Jeevitam Foundation. There are so many volunteers joined together with people on roadside. What we did in our Jeevitam Foundation is, when we see the people on roadside, we just come, and if the person is having family, means we just make them to we just meet them, also have get some point, get some history regarding them, and day by day visit them and fulfill their needs and get. Then on the fine day, we just get permission from the higher officials and revenue department. Then we get permission from the homage also. Then if the person is old age, means we try to admit them in home, or if the person have family members, means we just ask the family members to rejoin them into their family. And if nobody is there for them, means, and if the person is mentally affected, means
we just approach with the doctors, psychiatric doctors, and after getting a treatment follow-up, we are admit them into the homages. So if the person is recovered, means by day by day collecting information from them and rejoin with their families also. Still now we have rejoined 26 members into their families after they're recovering from their mental illness, and also allocating people in jobs. So this is the way of rehabilitation of roadside people. And at the time of from March 22 itself, here the lockdown in Tamil Nadu was announced. So from the March 22nd itself, I just plan to give a whole day food with packages, 3 packages of food, soap and mask in a kit, and some biscuits to the roadside people. So I have covered totally nearly 100 people on a day. So as a nurse, I know this is not a good way, and this is not a correct way to care roadside people, because the whole world is inside the houses, but where the roadside people are only still remain in the road. So what I'm thinking is, I just collect the survey of the people on roadside, and I just communicate with the commissioner, sir. Sir, still these much of people are in roadside, but all the people are not some are mentally affected, and some are some of the persons are not able to get into their hometowns. So due to Corona lockdown. So what I asked him is, please allocate as schools like government schools. We can
Hello, Manisha.
Yes.
Hi, Manisha. Sorry to interrupt you, dear. Actually, can you tell us about your future? What is your future planning? What is your goal in future?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. So
we have short of time, that's why.
Yeah, okay, sure, ma'am, Sorry, ma'am.
No, it's okay.
Yes, sir. Okay. So, plan is what we are striving in the battle for this to make our nation an abandon-free one. So, in that battle, our plan is to make a home for abandoned people on a roadside, like a family setup. So, what I'm thinking is, the home is not just a home to take care on the old age people itself and to take care on the mentally ill people itself. It is a home to make the people earn for their own self, like with working sector, like stitching or mat knitting and ballpoint pen making and araka plate making. Like some machineries will be placed in the room, and the able people can make themselves to allocate in the work and can do the to the job. And the mentally affected people are in the separate room to get treatment on the same location. And the elderly people are in the same at the evening time. So we can arrange some recreation activities for the mentally affected and normal people, where they can engage with the elder people also. So what I'm planning is, I'm going to make a rehabilitation center, not like all other homages. It is differently like a family. So I'm just make their life come and enter into the family setup. So this is my future aim. I don't know how I'm going to achieve my future aim, but I hope that what my service direct me in the way to achieve what and all I'm aiming into. So I hope this also my aim also will comes to closer, and I can achieve my aim expected period.
Thank you, Manisha, and you will achieve sure because you have blessing of all of us. Okay, now I will hand over to Krish.
Yes, so that was really emotional story about Manisha. We could not hear about her much more because she had lot to speak. But definitely, can we think a nurse can do like this much? And she has reached a lot and being very young. And we hope you are a real model for all the nurses in India as well as abroad. So thank you for being with us and join today. And we pay our sincere gratitude and salute from all of Nurse Talk Show. And can you all please give a huge round of applause virtually to Manisha? Thank you once again. Now, yes, so we had a poll about audience poll. This was just a poll, but still we would like to share the results of that poll where we got the poll based only Paris and Prajakta. We request the audience poll for robots and for nurses. And for robots, 31 and for nurses, 13 out of total 44. So it was really wonderful by both debaters. And once again, we all give a round of applause from all talk show team to both our debaters. Thank you once again. So our next segment is about quiz. So we know the last segment, last talk show also, we had a quiz and exclusively for students. All the students to kindly pay the attention. The rules for today's quiz is, this is only meant for nursing students and only one submission per student. Write the complete answer in the chat box, either in Zoom or Facebook, along with your full name. Student who writes the correct answer first will be the winner. And winner will get a small cash prize from our talk show team via Google Pay or Paytm. So here the question comes. As we all know, we are all worried about our Covishield vaccine, and finally we had it. And what is the source of adenovirus vector used in Covishield vaccine? I repeat the question. What is the source of adenovirus vector used in Covishield vaccine? Thank you. You can write your answer. So we'll move to our next segment. So for that, I would like to introduce Miss Shaini Chako, a passionate nurse working in ESI Hospital, Delhi. So I just call Madam Shaini to please introduce our next speaker.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Good evening, everybody. I'm privileged and honored to introduce a dynamic and eminent personality, Mrs. Yangshan Dolma. I know her personally for the last 15 years. She has completed her master's in nursing with community health nursing as specialty ophthalmic nurse for the last 18 years. She is the founder of IONA, that is the Alliance for Innovative Ophthalmic Nurses Association. She's also the recipient of Amazonian of America Book Prize Award for the Best Community Health Nurse in 2016. Other than a routine work, she actively contributed in National Quality Improvement Program in public health facility as quality external assessor for government of partakes in various preventive healthcare activities in different states in a triangular form, like from Delhi to Sikkim and from Sikkim to Ladakh. The person who has an experience of 18 years in ophthalmic department would be the right person to tell us today about the eye health myths and facts. Not wasting much time, I conclude my words and welcome Mrs. Yangshan Dolma to the UNURSE's Talk Time. Thank you.
I hope I'm audible.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So the topic is myths and facts about eye health. Before that, I just wanted to continue with Manisha's
power of empathy. I hope if anyone in this room has got any myths regarding the power of empathy, I hope it must have been cleared out now. So with that emotional, delivery of Manisha, I think my talk is little bit fading away types. I felt like just sacrificing my talk to her and then just keep listening to her. So, but I have to do my duty now. So myths and facts, when we talk about myths and facts, myths all the time are not all wrong. It is based on certain facts. On the basis of some facts, myths have been, developed. So regarding some of the parts of eye health, there are certain myths and facts which I today wanted to share with you all. First, I've always heard about eating carrots will improve your vision. So this is myth in some way. So what is the fact? Fact is that carrot is a rich source of vitamin A, and vitamin A, everyone knows that is good for eye health. But beyond that, carrot doesn't have any other role. Like, for example, if somebody is having some eye diseases, and if you think that eating carrot will improve, then it won't have a sake of thing. Carrot is good for eye, and there are many other sources of vitamin A as well. Now, second myth is sun gazing will improve your eye health. That is in some culture, they do sun gazing and all for overall health. So that is also a myth. The fact is that if you do sun gazing without precaution or without proper following certain guidelines, which already has, so it will damage your retina, and many eye problems it can have. And one is retina damage, which will lead to permanent blindness. And second is, you must understand that if you are practicing this sun gazing, then you must use proper eye filter, like ultraviolet rays protected sunglasses and all. And if at all you so much believe in sun gazing in your culture, with due respect to those culture, you must follow proper guidelines from experienced practitioners, and then follow this culture. Another myth is people who are colorblind, we think that they see in black and white. So it is not completely true. The truth is, we have around 8% of the people who are having color blindness. Color blindness means there is deficiency of certain colors. And most of the things are like, if you see the data here, 2.7% is the red and greens. So here you are seeing one normal vision and one red and green one. So a person who is having color blindness will see the way it is shown in this picture. Other than that, other colors they can see. Okay, so whatever color deficiency is there, they won't perceive that color. So, and as for black and white, seeing black and white all in gray shades is very, very, very less. Like if you can see in the last one, 0.0001% people are completely black and white vision. Okay, so it is very. Now, another interesting myth we say is two brown-eyed parents can't have a blue-eyed child. Now, this is absolutely myth. The fact is, as we have studied about our recessive genes and dominant genes, the concept goes here as well. So just two examples I've been giving here. If the parents, mother and father, both are having brown-eyed, then the child has the possibility of having 6% of blue eye and 18% of green eye. Like parents is having a green eye and one of the parent is having brown eye, then that person also has a chance of 12% of having blue eye. Likewise, 50% of brown eye. So the genes work is happening. So you can't say that if a parent, if both the parents are having a same color eye, the child should have that color. No, recessive genes also has some roles in that. Right. Another myth very prevalent is sitting very close to the TV can damage your eye. It is not so. damage your vision. The problem is it may have certain eye strains on you. If you are, if the child, most of the time if the child is watching TV very closely, then the child may have headache or eye rubbing, and all these things can happen because of the eye strain, exhaustion of the eye. One very important point for the parents to note is if your child is of the TV, very near to TV, then it may be a signal to the parents that the child is already having an eye problem. So it is very important, if your child is sitting near the TV and watching, not that TV will damage your child's eye, but that child is having already an eye problem. So the child needs to get an eye assessment. It is very important. Another similar concept, using computer will damage your eyes. This is not so. Usage. Prolonged duration of usage of screens may cause eye strain, which we call digital eye strain. So now, other than that, it will not cause any eye problem. Now, what are the symptoms of eye? This slide is very important owing to this pandemic and working on the screen for long by most of the people. I wanted to take some time on this screen, topic. So, computer usage or screen usage for prolonged period will cause a digital eye strain. And a person may have headache, blurring of vision, dry eye. Eye strain means the person may feel that heaviness in the eye, or very common is feeling something in the foreign body sensation in the eye, as if there is something in your eyes. That shows that your eyes are getting dried. Okay. And another few pains in the body, physical symptoms like neck, shoulder, and back pain is always associated with digital eye strain. Why so? Because when you have the screen for longer duration, you tend to forget about your proper posture. So you tend to have bad postures. Because of that, you will have neck, shoulder, and back pain. So these are the symptoms which a digital eye strain person can have. Now, what can be done? Right? So most important is eye strain is because of the excessive usage of your eye on the screen. So first and foremost thing is your giving rest to your eyes. Giving rest to your eyes. How so? The 20-20 rule that says every 20 minutes, if you are on the screen for 2 hours, then every 20 minutes, you take a break for 20 seconds and just look away at a distance of 20 feet. Or if you are in a closed room, just gently close your eyes for 20 seconds. This is how you give rest to your eyes. And a very important tip for this, another tip, second tip is blinking consciously. So now, normally we have a tendency to blink around 10 to 20 times in a minute. But when you are on screen, study says that people tend to blink. The tendency to blink decreases. Then like around 5 to 10 times you blink in a minute. That will dry your ocular surface. So that's why you need to blink consciously in between. So this is very important. Other than that, everyone knows you have to get your eye checked. When you are going in the sun, you need to wear glasses. Then eye checkup for every 6 months or 1 year. It is very important. In the room where you are using the screen, your lighting should be appropriate and soothing to your eyes. It should not be too glaring. It should not be too dim. So it has to be appropriate to your eyes. Now, another myth is wearing eyeglasses will worsen your eye power. So, jinko eye glasses prescribe karte hai, some people say don't start wearing glasses because it will make your eye worse. This is not so actually. The problem is glasses doesn't worsen your eye power. The problem is your brain. Your brain is accustomed to the good vision, the clear vision. And once you take out your glasses, your brain is giving message that you are not seeing properly. And you feel that your eye has got worsened. So this is not so. power will not worsen. In fact, it will help the eye to not to this eye power. अगर नहीं पहनते हो तो then they'll be more like the power also will जल्दी बढ़ जाएगा, retina में stretch पड़ेगा. All these complications are there. So it is very important that you should, if you are prescribed eyeglasses for your vision, then you should wear it so that your overall quality of your vision will improve, and overall health also, like quality of life also will improve with a clear vision. Now, kajal is mainly for children to shoo away the bad omens, or for beautify in the ladies they put kajal. So these are the fact is that it can be very harmful. They can also cause eye infections, allergies, toxicity, lead toxicity, क्योंकि lead sulfite होता है उसमें, तो lead toxicity होता है, corneal ulcer हो सकता है, glaucoma हो सकता है, and dry eye because of the chemical also can happen. So kajal, if you are using for the beauty as a beauty product, it should be used of a very good quality. Now, one myth is that as you age, people accept, but this is not so. There are certain facts, like you can age very gracefully, with a good eye vision. So the facts are that there are certain eye problems which can be associated with aging, but like, for example, few examples I will give. Near vision problem. Near vision का problem जो reading में problem आता है और near work के लिए problem आता है, that is after 40 years of age, it happens for most of the people. And if your far vision is okay, and if you do not have any other physical problem, then this is normal physiology. And with a reading, you can have a quality vision, right? Or if a person has so many of close work to be done, and if he is having near vision problem, then I would advise the person to get himself checked, because there are surgeries also to correct near vision, but provided that the eye surgeon advises. So you can have the surgery also, and glasses. So glasses बहुत comfortable होता है, कहीं पहन सकते हैं, and very safely without any problem. But for the surgery, you need to have a surgeon consultation, and proper consultation के बाद ही आप surgery में जाओ. Eye problem is cataract. Cataract can be outcome is very good, surgical outcome is very good, so you can go for a cataract surgery and live very good vision life. Now, very important thing is many people has got a diabetes, sugar problem, blood pressure problem, thyroid problem. So for those people, my message is please keep your eye checking at least once a year, और हो सके तो every 6 months, because diabetes की वजह से eye में changes आता है, blood pressure की वजह से eye में changes आता है, thyroid की वजह से eye problems बहुत होते हैं. So when you age with this disease, even if you are having good vision, you need to check your eyes. क्योंकि अगर आपने eye check नहीं किया, और if the eye gets like the disease is affecting the eye, then it is very difficult to control it. So शुरू से अगर पता चलता है तो it is very like easy to control these damages to the eye. So healthy diet, all the healthy habits should be there, and whenever you go in the sun, please wear ultraviolet protected eyeglasses. Then your eye examination as a habit tips for overall health is applicable to eye health as well. Now, when you are having cataract, some people said that you should not remove it before measuring the cataract. This was true long time back. Now, with the advancement in technology, cataract at any stage can be removed. So, provided your surgeon says so, you can remove the cataract at any stage, but you have to consult your surgeon. Another myth is that whole eye can be transplanted. It is not so. The fact is, only cornea can. Any person with a healthy cornea can donate your eyes. So इसमें even a blind person can donate his or her eye provided his corneas are healthy. अच्छा, अब blindness बहुत मतलब रीजन से हो सकता है. The person can have retinal problem, neuro problem, whatever. But if the cornea is healthy, a blind person can also donate his or her eyes. So some facts are corneal opacity is a second leading cause of blindness in the country, and India are not waiting for a miracle, but just waiting for your decision to donate your eye. So it is request to everyone to pledge yourself for eye donation and let your eyes live after you are gone. Thank you so much. That's all for today.
Thank you, Dolmadi.
Welcome.
Yes, Shiny ma'am, would you like to?
Nothing, she has well presented.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dolmadi. It was really interesting, and I think many of the people might have cleared all the myths, and they just got all the facts also about the eye health. So thank you so much for this session.
Thank you, Nurse Talk Show, for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you. So next, our session is about public health quiz. So over to public health. So the last time also we had a good response from our public also. The quiz, the same rule, but the only thing is this quiz is only for public, those who are not from nursing or any medical professionals. So this is only for our general public. Only one submission per participants, and choose the single best answer and type alphabet A, B, C, or G in the chat box along with your full name. First will be the winner. The winner will get small cash prize via Google Pay or Paytm. So here the question comes. Which of the following statement is true? Option A, mental illness does not affect physical health of a person. Option B, anxiety causes physical weakness. And option C, all stress is bad. And option D, mind has absolutely nothing to do with the physical body. So your time starts now. I request all the public, please. Thank you. Now, coming to our last part, that's our talent corner. If you have talent, use it in every which way possible. Everyone has a talent, ability, or skill that he can mine to support himself or herself and to succeed in life. So we are taking to you directly to Northeast, to our dear students from Asian Institute of Nursing Education, Assam, Guwahati, Assam. So they are coming with a cultural fusion dance of all 7 states of Northeast, along with a 3D painting as well. So over to their performance. Let's enjoy our talent corner.
Krish, can you see my screen?
Yes. Can you please
start playing? Screen is clear. Start playing, please.
Audible?
Yes.
Not audible. Not audible. Do please play again.
Sorry, ma'am. Is it audible now? Shri ma'am, it's audible.
Yes.
Yes.
No. No, Rupa. Rupa, please start it all over again.
Is it audible now, ma'am?
It is audible, but we missed the whole thing. Can we start again, please?
Please let me know. Okay, I'm starting from beginning. Ma'am, is it audible?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Students from AINE, Asian Institute of Nursing Education, Guwahati, Assam. It was really wonderful. They all took us to Northeast and it was really beautiful dance. And thanks to Dr. Unmona, principal of principal of AINE. Thank you, ma'am, for encouraging the students and giving us this sharing with us. And once again, thank you all. So to announce the answer for our quiz. Is it visible?
Yes, Krish.
Screen sharing has just started.
Please give me time. So we have received good number of response. So the answer for the question was stool of chimpanzee. That is a source of adenovirus vector used in Covishield vaccine. Congrats to all. Public health, the answer is anxiety causes physical illness. This is the true statement. And the winner for student section is Rikma Maga, but we have not received any details of her, so we are not able to identify the college and the year of your study. Congratulations. And for public section also, we are a little confused actually. So we will definitely announce the winner. And thank you once again for joining us. So coming to the end of the show. जीवन में आप कितने खुश हैं ये महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है, बल्कि आपकी वजह से कितने लोग खुश हैं यह महत्वपूर्ण है. So we sincerely appreciate the time you have put into attending this episode and connected with us. Your feedback is essential for us. None of this would have been possible without the wonderful support of all our core team as well. Lastly, but certainly not the least, once again, thanks to all the participants who have joined in Zoom as well as in our live Facebook session. And don't miss to watch our next episode, which will be on 26th February with another good show. Thank you once again. Good night. Shubh Ratri.